The cardiovascular system. This system, it mainly consists of heart and blood vessels. The heart is the major organ of the body and it pumps blood to different organs of the body. The blood vessels, they transport blood from and to the heart. They are tubes, thin or thick tubes that transport blood from heart to different regions of the body. We have three types of blood vessels. We have arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries carry blood to different regions of the body. They carry blood away from the heart. To different regions of the body. Whereas veins carry blood to the heart. They carry blood to heart from different regions of the body. And capillaries, the capillaries are a site for exchange of oxygen. Capillaries are a site for exchange of oxygen for different kind of nutrients, and it is also a site where waste that is generated from tissues is exchanged. Waste exchanged from tissues. And capillaries are the smallest blood vessels in the body. We move on to walls of the blood vessels. And the walls of the blood vessels they're composed of three different layers. The outer layer is tunica externa. This is the outer layer of the blood vessels. The middle layer is known as tunica media, and the innermost layer is known as tunica interna. The tunica media is composed of substantial amounts of elastic fibers. Tunica media is composed of substantial amounts of elastic fibers, and tunica interna is the endothelial lining of the blood vessels. It is the endothelial lining of the blood vessels. So we have three layers of the walls of the blood vessels: tunica externa, which is the outermost layer. We have tunica media, which is the middle layer and contains substantial amounts of elastic fibers, and then we have tunica interna, that is the endothelial lining of the blood vessels. Arteries, they're further subdivided into three classes. This classification is based on the basis of the amount of elastic fibers present in them, the amount of elastic fibers, and the amount of smooth muscle present in the arteries. Arteries are subdivided into three classes, and the classification is based on the basis of the elastic fibers, the amount of elastic fibers in them, and the basis of smooth muscle. The first class of the arteries is large elastic arteries. Now these large elastic arteries, they have substantial amounts of elastic fibers. They have substantial amounts of elastic fibers. They control or regulate the blood. They control or regulate the blood flow. They allow expansion and recoil of the arteries during the normal cardiac cycle. A few examples of the large elastic arteries is the aorta, the brachiocephalic trunk, brachiocephalic trunk, and the pulmonary trunk. The pulmonary trunk. We move on to the second class of arteries, that is medium arteries. Medium arteries. The tunica media of these vessels is mainly composed of smooth muscle fibers. Is mainly composed of smooth muscle fibers. Smooth muscle fibers. These arteries, they allow or they regulate a constant blood flow. They regulate a constant blood flow in different regions of the body. A few examples of this type of medium arteries are the femoral artery. We have the radial artery and the axillary artery. The next class of arteries is small arteries and arterioles. They control the filling of blood capillaries they control filling of blood capillaries, and they directly control the arterial pressure in the vascular system. Veins are also subdivided into three groups. We have three groups. The first group is called the large veins. Now these veins, they have substantial amounts of smooth muscle, where in tunica media, Now these large veins, they have thickest tunica externa. They have the thickest tunica externa. A few examples of large veins are the superior and inferior vena cava. Also portal veins. These are a few examples of large veins. The second group of veins is known as small or medium veins. Small or medium veins. These veins, they have small amounts of smooth muscle, they have small amounts of smooth muscle in tunica media, small amounts of smooth muscle in tunica media, and they also have a very thick tunica externa. A few examples of these group of veins is we have superficial veins of upper and lower limbs, superficial veins of upper and lower limbs, and the second example is we have deep veins in leg and forearm. So these are the examples of small and medium veins. We have superficial veins of the upper and lower limbs and deep veins in legs and forearm. The third group is venules. Venules are the smallest veins. They're the smallest veins, and they drain the capillaries. They drain capillaries. So these were the three types of veins in the body.